God is good, amen?
Amen.
All right, we just bow our heads and give thanks to the Lord today. Father, we just want to thank you today for everything you've done, for being our provider, for caring and loving and taking us in, Lord. Just doing everything that you do to provide us with whatever we need and finding us when we were lost and being there for us when we were scared and bringing us home today. As we look around and we're with our brothers and sisters and we love each other, the greatest gift that you could have gave us is to love each other, Lord. And we're just so thankful that there was a spot for us with you as we realized that we came closer to you. So we want to give you our offerings and our tithes today, whether it's a little bit or a lot, Lord. We are giving it to you with ourselves because we worship you, we believe in you, and we're here today. We're asking you that you take this, Lord, and that you just move on us today. That we're ready to take that extra step, whatever it is. We want to go into the unknown today. May you make us better in this walk today. May we do something, experience something that we haven't, because we are all in for you today, Lord.
That's right.
Push us in our walk, where we can do more things, accept more gifts, and be a light to this community, to this nation, to the homes of your church. In your Son's powerful name, Jesus Christ, and we all say, Amen.
Amen. coincidence that you're in the house of God this morning.
Amen.
How many can lift their hand and say, you know what? There's just something that I need an answer to, and I haven't been able to find that answer out on my own. I've tried everything out on my own, but you know what? I can't seem to get past things. And I need an answer from something a little bit higher. I need change in my life. We're going to have our prayer partners come up. Brother Dowling, Brother Webb, Brother Till, the rest of the folks, if you've got a need this morning, by the uplifted hand, can I see that this morning? If you've got a prayer this morning, you've got something you need prayer for. We've got our ministers up here. I promise you, if you step out in faith, God is going to meet you here this morning. These altars are open. Please come on down to the altar. We will pray for you. We will help you. Hallelujah. Yes, we will. atmosphere of prayer this morning. There are some that are fighting some things this morning, physically, spiritually. There are things that are pulling them every which way direction. And they just need some support from us, some prayers from us. God, hallelujah, we praise you this morning. Yes, Lord. Church, can we reach our hand over this morning? Come on. Reach our hand over this morning. God, you know the need, God. You know the need, Jesus. Yes, you do. You know the need, God. Lord, you know the struggle, God. You know the chains of bondage, God, that are preventing them, God, from moving forward and relieving themselves of some things, God. But Lord, we trust you this morning, God. Hallelujah. You always show up right on time, God. Yes, you. Hallelujah. We're just going to continue to praise Him there this morning. There's nothing wrong with that. He's done so many great things. Yes, He has. Holy, holy. Somebody sing holy. Holy, holy, holy. Somebody sing holy. Holy is the Lord, God Almighty. Somebody say He's worthy to receive honor. is not no matter what weapon I have, but no matter what weapon you have. No matter what weapon the world brings against me, no matter what weapon the devil brings against me. See, when we're singing that song, no matter what the weapon is, I want you to know that I win. It's not, hey man, no matter what weapon you give me, I win. The thing about it is no weapon formed against me can prosper. So no matter what weapon you have, whether you're the world or the devil or a demon or my flesh, no matter what weapon you bring, whether it's addiction, whether it's pornography, whether it's lying, stealing, cheating, stealing, no matter what weapon that you formed that you think might somehow knock me down, no matter what the weapon is, I want you to know that I win. And I win because a long time ago, there was a man named Jesus Christ who had the fullness of the Godhead that dwelt in him bodily. And he went to a cross and he died, and when he said, "It is finished," what he was saying was, no matter what the weapon is, I want you to know that they now win. No matter what you bring to them. There's no more, hey, I'm just going to push it ahead. Hey, I've got to worry about it tomorrow. There's no more of that because it's already been purchased. The battle has already been won. When something comes against me, all I have to say is, devil, I don't know if you saw the latest headlines or even like the headlines from 2,000 years ago, but we already won. Like those old debts that you're trying to collect on, we won. Like you have nothing against me. Like sometimes I fall, right? Sometimes I get tripped up and I fall. But listen, just like the prophet said in the Old Testament, rejoice not against me, O my enemy. Because there's going to be some times when I fall down. There's going to be some times when I get tired. There's going to be some times when I trip up. There's always going to be a time when you look at me and think that you've got me right where you want me. But rejoice not against me. Let me warn you. Let me tell you ahead of time, don't get excited. Don't think because it's the fourth quarter and there's 2 seconds left and you're up that you're going to win because it's already been won. Rejoice not against me, oh my enemy, for when I fall, I shall arise. Listen, if that don't get you excited on Sunday morning, dude, your exciter thing's broken somehow. Something in the front lobe of your brain that controls your emotions has been messed around somehow. You bumped your head before you came in or something, because when I think about it and I think about, because most of our, I was talking to somebody earlier this week, has nothing to do with what I'm preaching this morning. I was talking to somebody earlier this week and you know, I told him, I said, you know, I get up and I preach that when you start your prayer, you should start it with worshiping God, with getting your mind off of all the things in your life and worshiping God, because that gets your focus in the right spot. And you know what I told him? Dude, every time I start my prayer, I'm like, oh God, help me today. And I said, man, I realized that I'm in a habit of doing that all the time. Like I preach, don't start your prayer that way because that's a sorry way to start a prayer. And I find myself every single time starting my prayer, oh God, help me today. Help me today, God. I just can't make it. I can't do it. Like instead of realizing I don't have to do it. It's already been done. What am I praying about getting done? Because it's already been done. All I have to do is recognize that. You know, a lot of times we sit around and worry about every little thing in our life. Oh, God, how's this going to turn out? Oh, my God. When I look back and I think, man, God's already purchased that. It doesn't matter what happens to me on this old earth, because for eternity, I win. It's already been done. So this morning, don't start out your prayer like the pastor does. Oh, God, help me. If you got your Bibles, I want you to turn to Luke chapter 15 while you're doing that. I went back to Kentucky to visit my grandfather and my parents and my brothers and stuff about a month and a half ago, or 2 months, about a month and a half ago. And on Sunday morning, I was able to be with them in church. And their pastor's a really cool guy. And he preached a really cool message. And I didn't get a chance to tell him because he left town. But if anybody from Kentucky is watching this, just let him know that I'm still in his sermon. Because I thought it was that awesome. And this sermon will be not only his sermon, but a collection of other sermons that I've heard and I've read before.
because I think it's really important that we get this down, and it's often a story or a parable that Jesus told that we overlook, because the parable before it and the parable after it are so popular that we focus on them, and we often forget these little 2 or 3 verses that fall in between these parables. So I'm going to start with Luke chapter 15 and verse 1. Then all the tax collectors and the sinners drew near to him to hear him. And the Pharisees and scribes complained, saying, this man receives sinners. And what that receives means, or he welcomes. This man welcomes sinners and eats with them. And I'm going to skip to verse 8. Or what woman having 10 silver coins, if she loses 1 coin, does not light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? And when she has found it, she calls her friends and her neighbors together, saying, rejoice with me, for what I have found, the peace which I have lost. Likewise, I say to you, there is joy in the presence of angels of God over one sinner who repents. Could you bow your heads right now? Lord Jesus, we thank you so much for allowing us to be here together today, God, knowing that you're going to speak to us. Lord, in spite of me, in spite of all the things that I could do to mess up this whole thing, Lord, I pray that you would just go past me, Lord. Allow me to get out of my own way, Lord, and allow you to shine through me today. Let me, not for my glory, not for anybody's glory in here, but for your glory. God, allow your presence to be felt in this place so that we each could go away changed. Lord, that we could take this light that you've given each and every one of us, this life, this way, this truth, God, Lord, to a world that so much needs it, God. Lord, a world that cries out for change, for redemption. Lord, allow us to be that light, that beacon of hope. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. So, this morning, I want to talk to you about the lost coin. Now, the Pharisees and the scribes, they start out upset with Jesus because he welcomes sinners. He receives them. They didn't like it because he wasn't laying the smackdown on them. Right? Because that's how they did stuff. Like, man, I'm going to wear my really clean, like nice, legit, official Pharisee wear. Right? So you know who I am. And my job, or what I'm going to do is, I'm going to explain to you all the things that you ain't doing right. But I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to point out the things that you're doing wrong, but I'm not going to give you a way to figure out how to do it right. Okay? I'm just going to go back through and read off the law, which doesn't tell you how to do it right. It just tells you how you're doing it wrong. You say, what do you mean? Well, the 10 Commandments. I mean, those are from God. Do I believe in the 10 Commandments? Yes, I do. I believe in the 10 Commandments. I believe that if you have Jesus Christ in your life, you can't say, man, I don't have to follow the 10 Commandments. God, I got Jesus Christ in my life. I say that you do like Jesus said and say, hey, man, now that I got Jesus Christ in my life, I can fulfill those 10 Commandments in a way that I couldn't before.
That's right.
And what are you talking about?
That's right.
Thou shalt not steal.
That's right.
That doesn't tell you how not to steal. It just tells you don't steal. It lets you know if you're stealing, you're doing something wrong. Don't kill. It's not telling you, hey man, when that person cuts you off and then they turn around and they give you that sign, which is the universal sign for I don't care what you think about whether I cut you off or not. It doesn't tell you how not to run them off the road, grab them out of their car, and beat them to a pulp. It doesn't tell you how to do that. It just says, don't do that. Now you laugh, but some people, they have a real issue with that. There's some people, they feel like they can't control themselves when something like that happens. There's some people that lie, and they lie about stuff that don't even matter. There are people who will lie to you about things that make no difference in this world. You say, hey man, did you eat today? Yeah. Where'd you eat at? I ate at Burger King. You ate Burger King? Yeah, they didn't eat at Burger King, they ate at Taco Bell. You don't really care where they ate. I mean, they're not going to get in trouble for going to Taco Bell. You don't care about how much money they spent. You're not going to discriminate against them because they like tacos instead of having it their way or at McDonald's or making it whatever at the King, at the Burger King or whatever. You really don't care. But they have so much got accustomed to lying. They just lie. 10 Commandments say don't lie. hell because you lie. But nobody was telling them how not to lie. You see, now we have it, and it's so, man, if nothing more than this, when you come into a place today, I can tell you, man, I don't want to tell you all the things not to do. What I want you to do is focus on Jesus Christ, and if you do that, all that stuff will fade away, and you don't have to worry about what not to do, because you're going to do all the things that you should be doing, and you ain't got time to do that stuff anymore. Now, I know, man, throwing money in the church. Usually we're trying to get money away from people in the church instead of trying to throw money out in the church. But these Pharisees, they were a little upset because Jesus welcomed sinners, and they really didn't like it too much. They thought that he was wrong for doing what he did. And then Jesus goes on and he tells them the story of the lost sheep. And then he tells them the story of the lost coin. And then he tells them the story of the lost son, or the prodigal son. And we all know those stories. Now this lady, she's got 10 coins. And it doesn't really tell us much about that other than she got 10 pieces of silver. Now the silver that she had, because when we think of silver, we think like, man, that's a lot of money. That lady had a lot of cash. If I had 10 pieces of silver right now, you guys all be like, how much is that worth? I know it ain't worth that quarter you just threw out. That ain't for real. Back then, that piece of silver that she had, the 10 pieces of silver she had was worth about 10 days of work. Now, we don't know why she had the silver. Jesus didn't tell the story. He didn't say, hey man, this was her dowry, like some people think. Some people think that that was given to her. Maybe she wore it on a headband or wore it on her clothes, and these 10 pieces of silver were special to her because they were something that was given to her at her wedding, and that it was something that she prized even more than just its monetary value. She prized it for the memories that she had and what it really meant to her. Could have been that. Some people say that this was like a nest egg that she had, just in case her husband were to die, because they didn't live a long time back then. See, before the flood, they lived for like 900 years and stuff. Now those dudes ain't living much. They were living shorter than us. They didn't make it that far, especially dudes. Like ladies, they have like a higher pain tolerance, and they're kind of tougher than guys. Guys kind of, they fade out easy. We fade out easy. Ladies seem to make it. I tell people all the time, if men had to have babies, human race would have went extinct a long time ago. God knew what he was doing, because guys look at that and say, okay, maybe you wouldn't, but I'm telling you, man, I work around that, and I'm like, every time, man, I'd never do that. And after I did it once, I wouldn't forget about how bad it was, and then do it again and say, man, I forgot it was this bad. Some people say it was a nest egg, that just in case her husband were to pass away, this was her nest egg. This is what she was going to live off of. And then some people speculate that because she was a peasant lady and she lived amongst peasants, probably in a small town and in a small place, that they didn't have coins a lot. No matter what it was worth, they would trade clothing and eggs and meat and what they'd grown in their gardens, but they didn't have coin money. So it was special. It was something different. Regardless of why she had the coins, we know that she had 10 coins. And one of them had gotten lost. Now either way, it doesn't matter why she had it. One of them was gone. And the worth of the coin was all in the outlook of the lady. The worth of the coin, let me put that a different way, because that didn't come. The worth of that coin all had to do with what she thought that it was worth. My father-in-law used to tell me, because I'd be like, hey man, did you see that? They say that's worth $1 million. And you know what he said? It ain't worth $1 million unless somebody pay $1 million for it. He said, you can say that baseball card you got is worth $10,000, but there ain't a person there with $10,000 saying they'll pay you for it. That's just what you're saying is worth. Until you get paid, it ain't worth anything. For this lady, that coin, that lost coin, we could say it was a day's pay. We could say it was the memories that she had. We could say it was all kinds of stuff. But it was only what she felt it was worth. God loved each and every one of us enough to die on a cross, to give us what we couldn't obtain. To pay the ultimate price for you and for me. So pick your head up. Quit walking around telling yourself, I'm not worth anything. I'm not worth anything. I'm not worth anything. No, you're worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for you. And He paid something that nobody else could ever pay. He paid something that you can't measure in a monetary sum. He paid something that bought you an eternity with Him. So next time that you look at yourself and say, man, I'm not worth anything. Man, I'm not worth what everybody thinks I'm worth. I know that I'm worthless. No. Quit trying to devalue God's property. He created you like you are. He wanted you to be what you're to be. So shut up and move on. Dude, the creator of the universe is like, man, you're willing. I'm willing to lay down my life for you. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoever believes on Him wouldn't perish, but they would have everlasting life. God is saying, I'm willing to do all that, and you're sitting there, oh my God, you're a liar. I'm not worth anything. Well, what made you the expert? I was talking to a guy the other day, and I said, it's amazing to me. Like, I love science. I love science. Sometimes I get on the internet, I'm having to look at something, either look up a study on something or look at a code that I need, and MSN.com pops up, and immediately my ADD kicks in. And I got people waiting for me to code their chart so they can leave, and I'm looking about something Stephen Hawking's talking about black holes. And then 5 minutes into it, I'm like, dude, what was I doing? Because I'll close off the whole thing, get up to go, and then be like, wait a minute, I actually was on there for a reason. I need to sit back down and try to figure out what I was doing. Because I like science. And there was a guy that came in, he was talking to me about science, and we were talking about, about black holes and all this different stuff, and I said, man, it's funny that as humans, we're really about ourselves a lot of times. Like everything we do, it's about us. Like we decide how big the universe is and when it started, and we talk about black holes and we make all these theories, but we don't even really know completely how our own body works.
Right.
You go to the doctor, you can ask him questions, and he'll be like, man, we haven't figured that one out yet. We don't know why that does that. So you mean we figured out how to put somebody on the moon because that was super important? Because we've done a lot of stuff with that. And we figured out when all this started, we decided when it's going to all end. We've made all kinds of, we've hypothesized about this, that, and the other, but we don't even know how this works. No, we don't know that yet. Maybe we need to go back to the basics and start just being like, man, we need to figure out how we work, and then we'll let everything else worry about itself for right now. That's what we do. The last time I checked, you haven't ever created anything. Like, when's the last time you're like, hey man, I'm going to go out in the backyard, get in that area that don't have no grass in it, I'm going to form, a human out of the dust of the earth, and I'm going to breathe the breath of life into it. Spend some time doing that. Because I know how to do that, and I know what it's worth. You don't know what it's worth. You don't, because you can't do that. When's the last time you said, man, humans are all born into sin, and they need a Savior. You know what? I'm going to go be a Messiah for them. I'm going to die on a cross so I can... No, you can't do that. Last time I checked, you never bought anybody eternity in heaven. Now, if you've done any of that, we need to talk later because we need to read the Bible, and I don't know, maybe we need to talk about some medication changes or whatever. We need to do something because you don't have it right. The reality is we can't create it, we can't make it, we can't save it, we can't do any of that. But what we can do is criticize it. We look at other people and they're come to us. Andy will come to me and say, man, dude, I'm just having a hard time. I'm like, no, dude, Andy, you got this, bro. You got God down inside you. You're like David, dude. Just run out and meet your Goliath, bro. Don't let the devil get you down. Don't let the world get you down. I'm here for you. I'm going to lift you up. Then I walk away and I'm like, dude, oh God. Help me today, Jesus. I can't make it today. Most of the time it's not other people you're criticizing. Most of the time what you're doing is you're beating yourself down saying, I'm not worth anything. That's right. Well, dude, let me tell you, He's my God too. And He didn't make mistakes. And He didn't create things that weren't worth anything. So, dude, if you're telling me that my God made a mistake with you, then I'm going to tell you, hey, man, you're a liar. You need to work on that. The Bible says you shouldn't lie. So the next time you're sitting there, yeah, man, I'm getting dry. I'm spitting everywhere. Next time you're sitting there, talking yourself into how bad you are and how junky you are, and I don't know how God did this, and I don't know, my life ain't worth living anymore because I'm not worth anything. The next time you're doing that, think, man, Pastor Mark said I'm a liar. And I need to repent right now. You can't make it. You can't create it. You can't breathe the breath of life into it. You can't save it. You can't do anything to make it better. All you can do is make it worse. Don't make it worse. He wants to lift you up. He wants to bring you out. But you have to recognize it. The coin is you. The coin didn't get to decide how much it was worth. The coin was created to be what it was, and that's what it was. It didn't say, hey lady, don't come look for me. I ain't worth anything. I'm just an old piece of silver. You got 9 other ones that are shiny and new. I'm old. You know, people have money. You know, I know people work at the bank that wash their hands all the time. Like, hey man, I'm touching other people's money. No, don't just tell where that thing has been. You don't know where I've been. Like I've been in bad places as a coin. I've been in bars and I've been in bad places. Bad places. So I'm not worth anything. You don't know what I've seen. Lady, just leave me alone. Don't come looking for me. You know what that lady said? That coin is worth something to me. That coin means something to me. It means enough that I'm going to stop everything that I'm doing right now, and I'm going to go get a light, and I'm going to go get a broom, and I'm going to crawl around till I find that coin, and I'm not going to stop until I find it. And then when I find it, I'm going to be so excited that I call everybody up and tell them that I found the coin. Now, if you call me at like 3 in the morning because you're like, dude, I lost $5. And I was going through and folding my clothes and I looked in my pair of jeans and in my pocket was my $5. Rejoice with me. I'm going to be like, don't call me at 3 in the morning about your $5. Text me in the morning. And I'm not going to text back. But I'll be like, hey man, I'm glad you got that $5 back. What Jesus was saying is she was excited about what was happening. And it goes on to say, because we get this messed up sometimes. We say, hey man, all the angels stop. And they rejoice when a sinner's saved. I've said that before. It's funny, man, because we say stuff, like not stuff we've read. We say stuff that other people have said, because you're like, oh yeah, they must have got it right. And when you read that, it says that the angels are stopped, and in their presence there's rejoicing. Amen. So who's rejoicing? I think the angels. In their presence there's rejoicing. Well, there's only one other dude up there. And he's not really a dude, he's God. God stops and rejoices when one lost sinner repents. The God of the universe that hung the sun and made the earth go in rotation around it and created every galaxy and every far-reaching thing that we will never know about in our lifetime, He stopped when you repented. You were worth that much. So the next time somebody's like, hey, you're worthless, be like, hey, I was worth it for somebody to die for me.
Right.
Thank you.
I was worth that much.
Right. Amen.
Now we know that we're worth something, right? So next time you're like, I'm worthless, I want you to listen to what I said. You're a liar. People are going to watch this video and be like, dude, they're going to cut that part and they're going to just see that part and they're going to be like, man, dude's calling everybody a liar. He must have been preaching on the court. And those people are like crying and laughing about it. Like, I don't know what he did to get it to happen. Now, the coin got lost in the house. It wasn't lost on the street. That coin wasn't lost at the neighbor's house. That coin was lost in the house. The house is a place of safety. The house is a place you're supposed to retreat to and know that everything's going to be okay in the house. Now, do I think that God was like, oh man, I really wasn't paying attention to what was going on. I lost my coin. No, I don't think that was what was going on. I don't think God loses the coin. But what are we? We're the body, right? We're the witness, right? We're the testimony. We're God on this earth right now as God moves through us. Is that correct? Is that right? Pastor Bo, is that right? Would everybody agree with me on that? That we are Jesus Christ to this lost and dying world.
Right.
And how in the world are we losing coins out inside the house? Because it wasn't Jesus who lost the coin. But there was coin getting lost in the house. Now it doesn't say how it happened. It doesn't say that she had it in a box and she dropped it. It doesn't say that her kids were messing around and one of them came and grabbed it. It doesn't say how the coin got lost. But we know this. The coin got lost in the house. The other 9 were fine. And I imagine they were all in the same place. Because if you're like me, you got that one drawer where the stuff you don't want to lose, you put it in that place. That place was supposed to be a place where nothing got lost. Sometimes, whether it's on accident, or it's just careless, or it's on purpose, we lose people out of the house. You think they're worth looking for? Then why aren't we looking for them?
That's good.
Because we talk a big game sometimes. I don't see a lot of follow through sometimes. And you say, hey man, don't be knocking on my door, bro. I've been calling folk. Nah man, I'm knocking on my door this morning. See, I talk a big game standing up here when I just get to blanket it out to everybody. Hey, you need to lift your brother up. You need to lift your sister up. You need to call them. You need to text them. You need to tell them what's up. You need to do that. See, I talk that out here. Like up here, that's easy for me to say. The question is, I've seen people lost inside the house. And I don't know. And I made a point to go looking for them. Because a lot of times, I'm like, hey man, I preach the truth. They come and go. They come and go. That's on them. This is my job to tell them. Man, when I read this parable, the lady said, man, I don't care how it happened. I don't care if it was on my headband and it was faulty wiring or cloth or glue. I don't care if it was when I washed my clothes because it was on my clothes. I don't care if it was in my special jewelry box or whatever the kids knocked over. I don't care why it happened. I just know right now there's 9 and there used to be 10. And I have to do whatever it takes to find the 10th one.
Yes.
Because it's that important to me.
Amen.
But I wonder when the 10th one is gone, when we lose the 10th one inside the house, when the 10th one was once here and it's gone, do we ever say, man, I'm going to search out the 10th one?
Come on.
Because we go and there's nothing wrong with it. We go to the street with our spiritual metal detectors looking for more lost coins.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of lost coins out here, man. I'm supposed to be a witness to Jesus Christ. I'm supposed to be finding people, and I'm supposed to be telling them about Jesus, and we want to do that. But then the one who was in the house, the one that was once safe, but isn't safe anymore, we forget about them.
That's right. That's good. That's the truth.
We don't try to go find them. We don't try to go find out what was wrong because, man, I don't know that I want to know. They might tell me something I don't like. And maybe now I don't like them. I'll go find somebody else. Man, I'm going to go past that. Sometimes God gives you gifts in your life. God's equipped us with certain things. We know about certain stuff. I'm going to piggyback off what Dallin was talking about last week. You know, sometimes we get caught up so much in doing church and being about church. We've got all these things that we're living in our life. We're reading our Bible and we're praying and we're worshiping and we're intercessing and we're walking the walk and we're talking the talk and we're acting right and we're living right and we're doing all these things. And then one day we wake up and it's like, dude, I haven't prayed in a long time. I mean, I sing about prayer and I talk about prayer. And I close my eyes when we pray at church, and I do it at meals, but really I haven't got down on my knees and really just had just a good me and Jesus meeting in a long, long time. But you know what? I got all this other stuff going for me. Like, I may not have prayer, but I got worship, and I got reaching out to folk, and I teach a Bible study, and I'm memorizing verses, and I'm doing all these things. How important is the one thing to you? How important is the one thing that you lost inside the house?
That's right.
It's funny, I heard people say before that they don't know how people in America even believe in God. Because you don't have to pray for anything. What do you pray for? Pray for food? I don't have to pray for food. And you're going to sound like, this is going to sound really bad, but it's reality, folks. Let's just talk about the basics. Right now, today, I've got enough money in my bank account, I can go buy food. I don't have to pray, God, make something happen where I can get food today. I just go buy it. I don't stop before I go to Jack in the Box and say, oh God, thank you so much for allowing me to have a job and allowing me to live in a country where I can go down to Jack in the Box and get my curly fries with bacon and cheese on them. I don't say that. I just take my money out of my pocket and I go and I pay for it and I walk out. And when people say, well, you got money to do that? I'm like, yeah, I worked for it. I don't stop and say, man, thank God that He's given me enough in my life that I had the opportunity to do what I do so I can go now have a job and do and make money. I don't say that. Let's go do it. You know how things get lost? God becomes commonplace. Like, I don't have to say, man, we only meet once a month because those dudes try to bust in here with machine guns all the time and run us out because they don't want us talking about Jesus. We come down here anytime we want to. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can just walk in and out as you want to. You can pray however you want because God has blessed us that much. But in that blessing, we lose things. We lose the thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, that I know other people that believe in you like I believe in you, and we can get together and we can have the Holy Ghost moving on us and we can speak in tongues and people can be healed and all those things without somebody coming in and telling me I can't do it. I wonder sometimes If some of us have enough to go to another country and live when it's like that, because we barely make it when it's like, oh man, the devil's got me down because I didn't get that raise I wanted, and now I don't know if I'm gonna come to church next week. So I wonder what it's like when it's like, man, I didn't eat for 2 days, but thank God somebody dropped me off a potato and I got to eat. Thank you, Jesus. Do some of us live like that? In the state that we're in now, if some of us live like that, we'd be sitting there being like, there ain't no such thing as God, because he wouldn't put me in this place. Because we lose stuff in the house. We lose stuff in the house. Is it worth looking for today? Is it worth you finding it? You know, there were some tools that the lady had to find the coins. Jesus said she had to grab a couple things when she went and looked for her coins. She didn't go not prepared. You ever saw those houses they lived in? There wasn't a lot of natural light that came in there. They didn't have the retractable blinds and all that, where they didn't have skylights and stuff like that. Like they had a window maybe, sometimes no window. The floor wasn't like laminate or carpet. It was dirt. When I say dirt, I mean like literally it was just dirt. Like you were sweeping dirt. That was her floor. So there wasn't a lot that she had to go off of, but she knew, and all I got to do is I can get my lamp. Because if I got my lamp, I can see what I'm doing. And I need to get my broom. And she went to sweeping. Now, the Bible says in Matthew chapter 5 that we are the light of the world. It said that you are the light of the world, a city on a hill. Said you're like a lamp that's in a house, that you don't take the lamp and put it down, you put it up so it can light up the whole area. And he said, so let your light shine.
I know. Hallelujah.
Let your light shine. When someone gets lost in the house, the one thing you need to do is shine your light. Right? You gotta come to Jesus like little children, right? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No! I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm gonna let it shine. Jesus said, you are the light, so let your light shine. If you lost something in the house, my gosh, get your batteries charged in your flashlight, get some oil in your lamp, but let your light shine. And then she got a broom out. You see, it's funny. Because I don't like brooms much, because with brooms you got to be a little meticulous about things. I like vacuum cleaners. You say, yeah, but the kitchen floor, you don't really vacuum the kitchen floor. No, you do vacuum the kitchen floor. Yeah, but you're supposed to mop it and stuff like that. Hey, that's technicalities, man. I like vacuuming everything. You know why? Because vacuuming is fast. Vacuuming is easy. Like, there's not a whole lot of physical activity. If you go get a Kirby and it has like self-drive, like you almost don't have to do anything. You just got to kind of guide it. For some of us, we don't want the broom. We want the, what is it called? The Roomba. Dude, I don't vacuum my house. I just turn on my Roomba and it does it all for me. You know why? Because this is like work, man. And you know what? Yeah, your broom gets old. You got to start flipping it around weird ways, and you got to try to like get into corners. Have Have you ever taken and just swept up in a place that was really, really dirty? It's funky. Like you get a lot of junk, like hairballs and mess and just stuff. She was sweeping, looking around. She got a light. She's looking. She's crawling over furniture. She's reaching under stuff. She's moving things. I'm moving the couch. I'm looking under pillows, and I'm sweeping. I'm looking for my lost coin. But I don't think when she found it, it was clean. Have you ever swept up a bunch of stuff looking for something, and then you have to reach your hand in the dirty, nasty pile of trash to get your coin out? The sad part about it is, some of us look at people, and God's taken His broom, and we've let our light shine, and somebody's going out, and they've allowed God to use them to sweep around till they find that lost coin, and that lost coin comes in, and people are like, ooh, I don't want to touch in that dirt to where that person's at. Good Lord, couldn't they clean up before they got here? My God, they just brought in a bunch of mess with them. I don't want to touch that. Like, sweep that around a little bit more. Let's see if we can't clean all. Like, is there something we can do to knock all that stuff away? So, because I don't want to put my hand down in that, it's going to get on me. Like vacuum cleaners. Get your vacuum cleaner out. You're not going to care about reaching around and touching nothing. But you know what happens with a vacuum cleaner? Ooh. Oh. I didn't see the coin. I just heard it when it was gone. See, I've seen people come in because they want to be the vacuum cleaner in church. They want to be the person that fixes this problem. Oh, we need that dirt picked up? Where that lost coin's at? Oh, well here. Dude, I can do this right now. This is easy. We'll get them cleaned up real quick. In the midst of them sucking all the dirt away, you lose the coin inside the house.
Yeah.
Because nobody wanted to reach down and touch the dirt. They thought it'd be easier. Like, I don't have to tell them how to get clean. I just need to tell them that that's wrong. And I'll let the vacuum, I'll use this. Man, this wasn't meant to be a vacuum. It wasn't meant to be a vacuum. This wasn't meant to be something that knocked people to where they're lost inside the house and they're gone. This was meant to be something that gently picked them up.
Yes. Right.
And as they were picked up, like a coin collector, they were under a microscope, and they slowly and gently just took maybe a toothbrush or something, and they cleaned it off little bits at a time. Like if you see an archaeologist at a dig, they don't just start knocking everything around. What they do is they get down on their hands and knees, and they lay down, and they'll take the smallest little paintbrush, and they'll just dust it away. Why? Because I don't want to ruin my find. This is something special. This is something extraordinary. This is not average, ordinary, everyday something. This is something great. And I'm just going to take it in little bits at a time. I'm going to clean it off, because if I clean it too much right off the bat, I might tear something up.
That's good.
Oh, but
Preach it.
dude, it's not no archaeologist. And I'm a dynamite guy. You want those dinosaur bones out of there? I got some stuff we can use to get them out right now, and you won't have to clean anything up when we're done. I'll clean that thing up in about 50 feet past it. I want to get that. I want to get that stuff on me. You know, sometimes we're supposed to be the broom.
Right.
And God uses us to sweep around. You know what happens? The broom gets dirty sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The broom gets dirty sometimes. Sometimes the broom has to go places the broom don't really want to go. You ever seen those brooms? This is probably like my broom in the garage. My wife wouldn't let the broom be in the house if it was like this. But I'll sweep stuff with a broom and it'll have this junk all in it. And I'm like, just leave it there. I'll still sweep it just as good. Sometimes God wants us to be the broom, and we got so much junk on us that we're dropping off more dirt than we're cleaning up. We go to look for the coin, and we just drop 3 hairballs on top of the coin so we couldn't see it because we ain't cleaning out our own life. God's trying to use you as a tool, but because nobody cleaned out the bristles lately, like Paul said, hey, I die daily. You know why? Because Paul's like, dude, every day I do something stupid and collect a bunch of junk in my life. And as God's using me as a broom and sweeping me around to find people, I can't be dropping dirt all over them and hiding where they're at. I want to be clean so God can use me. Dude, every day we should die. So God, when He's ready to use us and He picks us up and we're dusting around, we're not making it worse, we're making it better.
Perfect thought.
You ever see a vacuum cleaner when the bag's too full? I do that a lot too. Because if you tilt it the right way, that little alarm thing doesn't go off and you can keep vacuuming. So you just got to know how to tilt the vacuum so the dirt doesn't get on the sensor. But if you look behind you, there's a big cloud of dust where it's just blowing out everywhere. When that lady got inside her house and she started dusting that stuff around looking for that coin, you think it got dirty in her house? You know why? Because I don't think she just went in there and was like, ooh, man, I don't want to get excited about this. I need to just calm down. I want to make sure that I do this the right way. I'm going to be really slow about it because I don't want to mess anything else up. I think that she was like, oh my God, have you ever lost anything like your kid? Have you ever lost your kid? When people lose their kid, they're not like, okay, just stop. Let's just stop here for a second. We don't want to alarm the other customers in the store. I'm sure my 3-year-old's here somewhere. What we're going to do is we're not going to cause a ruckus. We're just going to slowly walk through the aisles and look down each one. And you go down the side because they'll hide behind the rows sometimes, right? You go down that side, I go down the side, and we'll find a kid. No. Guys do that sometimes. Because they're like, hey man, we got 30 minutes. I can go to Sporting Goods and hang out before we find a kid. Moms ain't like that. Moms will go run through the store looking for their kid, and you can see it. They might not be yelling, or they may be yelling, but you see this. You know why? Because they're not worried about offending you. They're worried about finding their kid. And they don't really care if they make a mess on aisle 9, if their kid's on aisle 13 and they don't know where they're at. Don't worry about that. I don't think this lady was worried about, I don't want to mess up the house. I think she was like, whatever gets messed up right now, we'll clean it up. When it's all said and done, we just need to find a coin.
Right.
Dude, when people come into the church, sometimes there's a lot of baggage that comes with that. Like there's some people who come with a lot of drama in their life. And they look like Pigpen off of the Charlie Brown. Like they're walking and you see the dust cloud following them and you're like, hey, that's a lot of junk. But you know what? Last time I checked, I never heard of anybody when I'm on MSN.com, I've yet to see like, man chokes sweeping his house. Did not realize that he would die on the dust that he was sweeping up. Nah, it may get a little uncomfortable. You might cough a little bit. You might sneeze a little bit. But you know what? In the end, it's all good. It'll be fine. God will take care of it. It'll be all right. Let's all stand this morning. The question is this morning, Where are you at today? Because I think I've taught just about everybody. See, I think that's exactly who it was for. You know, there are times in each and every one of us. You can say, I never had this thought. But you're going to need to pray about that later. You can say, man, I never thought I was worthless. And some of our problems may not be that what we think we're worthless. Some of us may think we're worth a lot more than what we really are. But I imagine at some point in time, all of us can say, man, I held my head down in shame and said, man, I'm not worth anything. And I don't know why God would choose to use me. But there's a big difference in disrespecting and being humble. Being humble is saying, man, I'm not worth anything except for God in my life, and that makes me worth everything. That's humble. That's humility. You got a self-esteem problem if your head's down saying, man, I'm not worth anything. You know what? God didn't make mistakes. So you don't need to have a self-esteem problem. And if you've got that problem today, you need to pray about that. Some of us feel like that we need to be the right hand of God. That's the power side. That's the lay the smack side. That's the Old Testament wrath of God side. Some of us feel like we need to do that to get people straight. And you need to pray about that today. Some of us have watched people come and go. Friends that we said, hey, we'll lift you up when times get bad. We've seen them go. And we've watched them leave. And we didn't go looking for the lost coin. And really, if I'm Christian, really, if I'm Christ-like, when I read these parables, I say, man, that was Jesus. Jesus was saying, I'm the woman, and when I find the coin, I'll do everything and stop and look for the coin, and I'll rejoice when I find the coin. Woo! I know some of us have let coins be lost in the house and said, man, we got enough people. 9's good enough. God will bring somebody else. Some of us today have had things in our life that we've let go because we had enough God to get us through. I ain't got to have a prayer life. I don't have to allow God to use me in every facet because He uses me enough and it's enough to get by. And God's asking you today to go looking for the lost coin. Some of us today we're the broom and we want God to use us, but we got so much trash in our life that He's saying until you get that mess cleaned out, you're going to make it worse. Some of us are there today. And still some of us have lost our compassion and love. And all we're about is trying to vacuum people up. Right now, I want everybody to close your eyes. You can bow your head if you want to. You can keep your head up. You can raise your hands. You can do whatever you want. They're just going to play. We're not going to sing. They're just going to play this music right now. And I know it's a little different. I know today we're not going to have that emotional drawing altar call where people are crying and I know it's not that. But today, you make a conscious decision. You make a choice. Sometimes we feel like we need to be moved by others to make a choice in our own life. When really God's saying, there's the line. You're going to step over or you're going to stay where you're at. Today, God has set out the gauntlet. He's laid the line out there. He's told us what we need to fix. The question is, when you pray right now, are you going to make that decision? Are you going to make that step? Or will you continue to live out what you got going on right now? Being less than what God wants you to be. Having less of what He wants you to have. Lord Jesus, we thank You so much for meeting us here today. Lord, I pray that today that you will touch somebody here, God. Lord, I know that I don't bring this stuff out as good as some other people, but I know this. I know that when you're moving on people, when you're working on them, it doesn't matter how it comes out. If it's what you wanted them to hear, then they'll hear it, they'll understand it, they'll know it, and they'll take it with them. Lord, I pray today that you would touch each and every one of us. God, remind us every day, give us courage and strength to remind us every day that we are worth dying for. That you paid the ultimate price so that we could live.